Good day. For some of you, it's still early morning. Some of you, it's afternoon. Sometimes it's night, depending on wherever you are in the world or whenever you watch this. So, greetings and happy Tuesday. Let me check the sound. Okay, we're good for sound. Okay. Just wanted to double check and make sure our sound is on. Okay, because my mic will be on. Okay, as Prince says. So, my mic is on. So, greetings, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. This is our Tarot Tuesday Heart Therapy. So I'm doing this early. Obviously, the live will still be up after this, but I'm doing this early because I got some stuff to do today. So I wanted to get this out for y'all. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it blesses you. So let's go ahead and tap in. Some of y'all probably at work. Some of y'all probably driving, but whenever you watch this, or it could be right before you go to bed, we will do a sound, like a mini sound bath at the ends of the live, as always. So if you want to stick around for that, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. Hey, how are you, sis? Hey, baby Pico. All right, so may our divine Holy Spirit, source God, our angels who lovingly guide us and protect us, our guardians, our ancestors, our divine ancestors who lovingly guide us and assist us and protect us. I ask for nothing but divine wisdom and light and truth and love to come through this message. I pray that those who are meant to receive this message, that they receive what they need beyond what their expectations, God, that you do exceedingly and abundantly in each of our lives. And I pray that for me as well, that I be removed so that you can use me as a divine messenger, completely and whole, without any disruptions. Amen and ashe. All right, let's tap in. I have a buffet of cards here that I'm going to use. I think I'm going to start off with my deck, though. I'm going to use my Divine Energy Oracle deck, and then I'm going to use some other decks here. So let's tap into the heart, the collective heart right now. What is the messages for the heart? What do we need to know, Holy Spirit, for those who need to receive this? What do we need to know? What is our message? Let's see. Ah, I love it. Okay, well, who doesn't love Sailor Moon? But you have your power. And it's funny because one of my friends, she sent me this post with Lizzo, and she was like making a reference to Sailor Moon. So I thought it was funny. So this could be you're activating. Before I even get into that, let me just pull the rest of the cards. So you have divine promotion, which is lovely. You have open heaven, supernatural blessings. You have glass ceiling, divine counterparts, low self-esteem. Don't click out. We're going to get to this healing message, y'all. We're going to get through it. New name and new status. Okay. So the first thing that came to me with this, your power, with the moon stick, the Sailor Moon stick, is the activation of your power, but it's activated through love. Whenever we come from a place of love and you do things from a place of love, it's powerful. It's far more powerful than from efforts of the ego, pride, and all those lower things. But I'm just getting, you're powerful. And sometimes we're taught that kindness is a weakness. When I say nice person, not a doormat, but being just a pure, kind hearted soul is a weakness. But you have to learn over time and discern how you give and who you give to. That's the only difference. It's not for you to stop being a kind person. It's just discerning where you give your energy and who you give your energy to, that you have to learn. That's one of the lessons for those of us that resonate or associate with being empaths, right? But don't stop being a kind-hearted person. And anytime that whether it's a passion, whether it's something creative you want to do, if it's coming from love, it's not just from a place like, yeah, you love what you're doing or you love to do it or you're inspired to give back. there's power in that. There's activation. And Sailor Moon, for some of you, is just a cartoon. Some of you don't see a significant meaning in it. God speaks to people differently. One of the ways God speaks to me is through some of these animations, some of these movies. You know what I mean? Sailor Moon is definitely one of them. And the message of Sailor Moon, like the theme song within itself, is fighting evil by moonlight and winning love by daylight. So the spiritual warfare, fighting evil, but also at the same time winning love, bringing love. And Sailor Moon is not just one person. There's a scout of them. There's other Sailor Guardians that all have their own powers and their own attributes that they bring to the planet and to the world. And they come together collectively to make that happen. So never think that you're insignificant. Everybody's gift is significant. And when we come together, it's powerful. It's the trick of the enemy and trick of the system to teach you that one person is better than the other and you're just the only special person in the world, or you're the only special person around you in your environment, everybody else is lesser than. And that's the ego. And if you find yourself in that space where you think because you have certain gifts or abilities or whatever that you're better, that's a trick. And it's a spirit of separation, just letting you know, like, that causes this separation, and it causes discord, and that is far from what spirit wants from you. Spirit wants you to have community with the right people. Then you have divine promotion. Divine promotion, this represents not just like earthly promotion, first and foremost, like divinely, like when we get elevated spiritually, maybe our gifts are more powerful, more heightened, because we are not for our own glory and to say I'm powerful and to use it against people, but more so from a place like, let's say your team, you have a whole angelic team, right? And your ancestors or whatever, your guardians, they all have a role. And it's like we're all a team. You're here on earth, so you still have things that you're doing here upon the earth, right? I'm not going to put you in a position of authority or position of responsibility when I know that you have no discipline, where you're still in your ego, where your thought is you're going to shit on people, you're going to make people jealous, or your attempt is to get back at an ex, or your attempt to get back at whomever that hurt you. That's not divine promotion. Like, you're not going to be divinely promoted. Divine promotion is like, I could trust you with these things, these gifts, these powers, these opportunities. And some blessings and opportunities that we get definitely come from spirit because it's meant to bless other people. Whenever it's a gift from God, never mistake that it's something to bless other people too. It's not just for you. Like, when we get blessings and gifts from a place of our ego, or things like through our own efforts and merit alone, and like things that may not be, aligned with our well-being or our highest good, we can feel like those are blessings, but at the same time, they're empty at the end. There's an empty, shallow pool that comes with those types of blessings and gifts. They don't last long. You don't feel satisfied in your being. But when it comes from love, when it comes from purity, when it comes from a divine blessing and gift, there's this fullness that comes from it. There's this sense of peace. There's a sense of joy. There's a sense of contentment, right? So you do have the open heaven card, supernatural blessings. So these are, again, blessings that are coming from a place of spiritual maturity. Like, you're spiritually mature to where, like, certain things are going to start coming together for you. And open heaven can also represent divine ideas and gifts. I think we got this card last week, if I'm not mistaken, because I do remember saying something about ideas coming to you, creative ideas coming out of nowhere, and just like opportunities, or you might get an inkling to type something in Google search, right? And then it leads to something that stands out to you. You click on it, and then the next thing you know, like, there's something in it for you, or there's everything that you were looking for, what you needed. Or let's say you're looking for a home, and you type in a certain thing in the search engine, and then all these different housing companies pop up. You're led to click on one of them, and then you see something that fits your range, your financial, what you call it, your financial, uh, I don't know, in your budget, whatever, right? So listen to the divine, like, inspirations that you get, with the glass ceiling card, the glass ceiling is that you're breaking free of mental blockages that you have, maybe certain ones that tell you, I'm not able to do this, where it kind of puts a limit, where with God, with source God, with the universe, sky's the limit. There's no limitations here. Everything is limitless to an extent, right? Like, to an extent. Like, sometimes we'll think, because there's nothing, like whatever you do for a living, right? Or what you want to do for a living, you might have this creative idea that you think is crazy, or other people might think is crazy. And you want to invest in that thing, but you're like, no, because there's nothing else, out here that really supports this thing or this dream, or people might think it's crazy. But that's where the inventors come in, like the invention mind, those that have that creative mind to invent things that have never been, that haven't yet touched the earth yet. So spirit wants to break off of you mentally that limitation mindset, that just because you can't see a way through right now, or it doesn't look like it's possible, or no one else is doing this, so it must not be something that I could achieve. No, spirit wants to break that free from your mindset. Like, break those glass ceilings that tell you that you can't reach certain levels, or keep you from seeing your path, or seeing your gifts, seeing your talents, things that keep you from seeing your value, your worth. You're breaking free of those mental blockages. It's like, if you're the top of your head had an opening, let's say like this glass ceiling is like a cap over your cranium, like at the top of your crown, and every time you try to reach that place of pulling down all these divine ideas, or seeing it, it's like there's something that you keep blocking, like it's a knock, like you keep hitting the top of your head, you can't reach it. You're going to break free from that, because I feel like for some of you, that could be part of the reason why you feel like you don't have a purpose sometimes, or you question whether you have a purpose, or you question, like, oh, I don't think I have any gifts or talents, or I don't have anything to bring to this earth. Not everybody is supposed to be front stage, center stage. Like, that's not everybody's calling. Fame within itself, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I feel like fame is a curse in a sense. It's a gift for the purpose of, like, you can reach people if you're doing it from a place of love, and not for a place of glory and worship. um for financial abundance, where some people might take it just to like fuck it off, and just like buy yachts and cars and clothes. And it's not to say that you shouldn't you know have nice things, but when that's your main goal and your main focus, and there's no bone in your body that says I want to give back, that's where the curse comes in with fame. And the fact that you don't have privacy, the fact that sometimes you don't have your own mind, right? Your own creative properties. You're a puppet, you're being controlled. There's certain things that you have to compromise, about yourself and morals and values. So not everybody is meant to be front and stage. And I know that social media also kind of has bred this generation of social media influencers. And if you're not doing that, if you're not getting likes, if you're not known by this person, that person, or everybody on the block or in the world, then you feel like you're a failure in life. You can have a purpose at a 9 to 5 job. You can have a purpose as an entrepreneur in the community, where you might not be popping. Let's say this hypothetically. You might have 500 followers, let's say on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, Twitter, whoever the fuck, right? Excuse my language. But in reality, off social media, you have reach in your community. You're someone that people do know. They know who you are. They know your influence. They, the things that you've done for the community or whatever, your influence. So scratch all of that. Sometimes that stuff, like, social media is a gift and a curse as well, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Like, you can get a lot of good information. You can meet really amazing people. You can get your voice out there. You can get, your marketing, whatever, networking. And then there's a side to it that is a drug. It's an addiction, and it also tampers with mental health as well. And a lot of times, like, what you see on social media is not always what it is. There's another side that you don't see, or what we present. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to present ourselves, crying in a corner when we just had a meltdown. Like, some people might do that for clout and attention, But some people, you don't get to see all of that. So you're only seeing when the people are, taking trips, family trips to Colorado together, and they in the mountains and they smiling, they cheesing, but you didn't know they probably had a little family argument in the car. Like, just saying, in the Volkswagen. What is it, a station wagon? That's what I meant to say. You don't know. You don't see all of that. You don't know the hard work that it took for people to get to where they are as well, while you covet and you get jealous. You don't really know, right? So some of you, you don't really know what your purpose is, because or what your next journey or your path or your next assignment in life, or what you could be doing to enrich your life and that of others, or just people presently. Like, spirit, I feel like the most profound thing that I've ever heard from someone say is that your first ministry, and when I say ministry, it doesn't have to be taken like church wise, but like where your first mission and your first like area to start utilizing your gifts and your talents and being a blessing to people starts with your family, usually your home environment, where it's like you're waiting for spirit to put you in a place where you're, let's say, a public speaker, or you could be a singer or an artist, and before all of these people, or being this, you know renowned coach, life coach, or singer, or whatever. But you're missing that the first place of your influence starts with your family, or sometimes your friends, or sometimes your job that you work at. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can speak to people and encourage and all of that, or utilize your gifts and your talents. But the first thing, it starts always with the people that are around you. Those are the people that you're going to influence the most, because they see you every day, day in out, right? um People are influenced by what they see, not so much what they hear. Sometimes, like, yeah, we could take something and it'll resonate with our spirit, but if we see a person's character, we see how they move, that more so will have an impact on people, good or bad, right? So you're not able to see your purpose and blessing sometimes, because maybe you're placing it in this a future tense thing, where it's like, be present now, because the presence is going to lead you to your next step. You know what I mean? Hey, hey sis, hey Tori, how are you, sis? I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I feel like there's a glass ceiling on some of you, on your mind, where you're not able to see where spirit is trying to take you and how far that you can go. um so, sit with yourself and ask spirit to break your mind free of limitations and of fear and of this, maybe. And you'll probably figure out, if you really sat with yourself, maybe journaled out your thoughts, you would find where the dead end is with your mindset. Like, let's say, for instance, ask yourself this. It's just like a little quick homework. Ask yourself this question, write it down or put it in your notepad or whatever. um what is it if I what is it that's keeping me from the very thing that I want to do in life, or the very thing, like, whatever your goals, your aspirations are, like things that, let's say, for instance, something such as, what's keeping me from fully being present and living life and being happy, or what's keeping me from having healthy relationships or friendships, what is keeping me from living the goals, or the dreams, or whatever, the job of my dreams, whatever. What's keeping me from that? What's keeping me from starting this business? What's keeping me from applying for this job? Or what's keeping me from whatever, right? Write it down. And then I bet you, like, soon as you start writing it down, hey everybody, soon as you write that ish down, it's going to expose, like, where the mental block is. And then you get to say, okay, what is really warranting that? What is giving permission for that thought? So, like, let's say the whole joy thing. What's keeping me from being present and being happy and joyful right now in my life? You might say things like, well, because I don't have the money to live the life that I really want, or my job sucks, or the people in my life suck. And then it gets to a place where, okay, well, what are you going to do to change those things? You can't change people, right? Some circumstances you have control over, some you don't. People you don't have control over. You just scratch that. When it comes to people, Are these connections that I really need to be in? Are these connections where I need better healthy boundaries? Or are these connections I need to just cut out of my life, period? You know what I mean? Like, start dissecting that, because once you like write out what your blockages are, it's going to expose it. And are these things that are really blockages, or are we giving way to them? Are we giving power to these things and allowing them to be blockages in our life, especially other people? No one has power over us unless we give it to them. No one on this planet, on this earth, has power over you unless you give it to them. None. I don't care if they're your mom or your dad. I don't care. I don't care if they're your boss. They might have power over your money to an extent, right? And your position at your job, but you as a person, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, if you give them the governance over your emotions, then that's the only way. But truthfully and honestly, no one has that power unless you give it to them. So what your ex did and all of that, why you're not happy in another relationship because of what your ex did, you're giving power to that person. And I understand, like, you know, personally, like, I get it, I understand. And as a human, we are going to internalize those thoughts and the effects of people that have hurt us. Yeah, it takes some time to heal. For some people, it might be easier to be like, okay, I understood why they did what they did, or it hurt, whatever. I'm moving on with my life. I'm not going to give him or her the power to dictate my life. And I feel like that's the most powerful thing that you can ever do, is get to a place where you say within yourself, like, I'm not allowing myself to feel like shit because of what somebody else did, what they said, how they looked at me, what they said about me behind my back, or what they said to me to my face, whatever. It's up to you. And as a human, it might sting. It might be like, damn. But there's a part where you say to yourself, like, how are you going to tell me about me? Or how are you going to dictate or change my mood? I'm not giving you the power to do that. You don't have the power to do that unless I give it to you. And how do you do that? You start dwelling. You start going, oh, well, this person did this to me. And then they made me feel like this. And because they made me feel like this, I didn't want to do anything anymore. So I'm not going to do anything. Like, nah, scratch all that. No, you're giving your power away. And it's easier said than done to some people. I get it. I understand. Trust me. Like, it might take a minute to be like, readjust. Like, dang, especially if it comes from people that you love, like a family member, a friend, doing or saying something to you. But you have to understand, a lot of times too, and some of you do understand this, but in case you need a reminder, people treat you how they treat themselves. Truthfully, if you pay attention to people, a person, like, naturally, a person can have a shitty day and might take it out on people, but a real person, or a person that really loves you, they'll apologize, or you'll apologize. You might snap off at somebody in the morning because you're a little cranky, you don't feel like getting up. You might snap off at somebody, and then you're like, I'm sorry, I'm having a rough morning, or I just don't feel like getting up. I'm sorry for snapping at you. But like, people that hurt other people intentionally or do things that are rude and crude, that's because that's them. So you have to separate. Oh, I got to take it personal. Like, yeah, some people might attack you personally because, for whatever reason, you're an easy target to them, or they feel like, oh, I want to just be an asshole. You might have just been in my proximity. So, hey, I'm going to take it out on you. But these are shitty people already, or people that are already unhappy, and opinions are this, that opinions. You could take it or you can leave it. It's up to you. It's up to you. I've learned that. And this comes from a person that takes things personal to a point where it's like, come on. Like, in the past, really taking things personal. Um, And I feel like that comes from a lot of conditioning as well, to not say anything, to not stand up for yourself. But a lot of times, standing up for yourself is not feeding the drama too. Meaning, you don't say shit. You don't do anything other than just change your focus, or not not give your attention or focus or energy to certain things. That's taking your power back. That's standing up for yourself. Doesn't always have to be you going toe to toe with someone or something. You know, Anywho, yeah. So that glass ceiling, just sit with yourself and really ask, like, what are my limitations and where do they stem from? You know what I mean? So that you can break it, that you break it off. Then you have the divine counterpart card with low self-esteem. So for some of you, it could be that one of your blockages is really believing that you're deserving of a divine partner. someone that, when I say divine partner, is like a divine is just that godly, higher, loving, everything that represents divinity, divine, God's source, that type of love, not something that's karmic, demonic, low vibrational, painful, sorrowful. Like, that's not meant for you. For those of you that really desire a divine counterpart, you know that it exists, you know that it's possible, but do you believe that it's possible for you, though? Because the low self-esteem card is right next to the divine counterpart card. Like, do you really believe that you can have that? It's not to say that you don't believe that they exist and you believe that other people can have it or do have it, but do you believe that you can have it, though? And if that's the glass ceiling that you need to break, write it down. What is it that makes you question that? And it could be like something, you know, common, such as you're still single, or why do I keep attracting these same types of men or women? It's like, those are common things. And then you can dissect into that. Is singleness really a bad thing? Am I doing something to block it? If not, then maybe it's just not my time yet. Divine timing, patience. Why do I keep attracting the same types of men or women? Okay, well, you can dissect into that within yourself. Why are you attracted to that? Or why do you feel like they're attracted to you? You don't have to take everything that's interested in you. You can say no, right? And if it be that you're attracted to certain things and you ask yourself, what is it about these people? And I bet you if you write down every man or woman that you've ever been interested in, or at least some of them, there's a pattern, there's a relation, there's a similarity or familiarity with that. Then you have new name and new status. For some of your low self-esteem is that you don't believe that you're worthy of new things, starting over, starting fresh. Um, New name can also represent like marriage as well, where you don't believe that you can have that. For some of you, you could have already been married before. For others you, new status is just representing like you being called to a new name, like a job or promotion, or not answering to the names that you've been called in your past. Whether it, I don't want to say this because I don't want to trigger anybody, but like words about your weight. I'm not gonna, because it might trigger you painfully, and I don't want to say those things if it's gonna hurt somebody. um Repeating those word curses, like, talking about your weight, or talking about your physical appearance in general, or calling you like, names that you're not smart, you're not intelligent, the opposite of those things, or nobody's going to love you, you're not lovable, whatever you, these word curses that you've heard over your life. And you might have internalized some of these titles and these labels for yourself, and those are the glass ceilings that you're going to have to break. And what I mean by word curses is that when we speak things, we can speak life or death over things. And when I say death, not necessarily literal death, but like it kills, it puts a stop and an end to growth of something. Whereas when you speak life into something, you're nurturing it, you're putting a positive vibration behind it, and it allows the ability for growth. It allows the ability to prosper and to move forward, right? But when you speak death over something, you're finalizing it, you're cutting it off, right? So anything that somebody has spoken over you that has made you feel like you can't go on, you're not good enough, even if you said these things to yourself, write those things down, or however you feel led to do this, break that off of you. Cancel those things out. Cast it down, cast it out, whatever you want, however you feel led to do it, but it's got to go, because it's blocking you. It's blocking your vision. It's blocking you from reaching your potential. And if it's a fresh new thing where somebody, even if it's something as simple as somebody on social media, because a lot of women get body shamed, or, this joke that men have, oh, you're going to be single forever because you have standards, you have morals, and you're not willing to settle. Men like to like go on people's TikToks and tell them, oh, you're going to be single, you're going to be by yourself. Hello. And all that stuff. Cast that shit down, even though it might just seem like it's just words, it's just a comment. Cast it down immediately. Like, don't even let it fester throughout your day. Like, cancel all that out. And a lot of times too, like, don't even read it. This is another thing too. Like, people have a habit of reading negativity. Like, focus on the positives. Just delete that. Don't even read it. Like, don't even feed your energy into it. Delete the shit. Like, why waste your time? For real. Delete it. Means absolutely nothing. And if the more you sit and ponder and try to dissect bullshit, you start to allow it in. That's why it's like, just ignore it for real. Like, keep it pushing, keep it moving. Um, if someone, like a family member, says something to you like, "Oh, you're gonna be stuck in this situation forever," or "You need to do this, you need to do that." Like, no, I don't. And no, that's not true. No, that's not my story. Cast that shit down immediately. Even if it's not coming from a place of them trying to hurt you, just, just nosy family members or nosy friends or whatever, just them having an opinion. If it does not resonate with your spirit in a way where you feel like it's something that's stagnating to you, or you feel like it's someone speaking something negative over you, a reality that you are not wanting to step into, it's not what you desire for yourself, cast it down. No, I'm not going to be in this situation forever. Or no, I'm not going to be single forever. No. Or no. You know what I mean? Like, blah, it's gone. Block that shit out. You're not held to your past. Whenever you outgrow your past self, you made peace with that person, or you let it go and you answered to a new name, a new you. And it doesn't have to be literally a new name, but just you're at a new space with yourself. You don't answer to those old things like, "Oh, remember when we used to call you blah 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 because you used to drink, you used to drink like a fish, so we used to call you." Like, I don't drink no more. I freed myself of alcohol. Like, why are you bringing that up? For what? Why are you bringing that up? Cut that shit down. "Oh, remember we used to call you chubby chubby or whatever." Like, no, I don't resonate with that. That's not who I am anymore. And it will help you shift. The low self-esteem sometimes can our esteem, if your esteem is built upon your identity in other people's eyes, if it's stems from, it's rooted in having a partner, having a mate, being married, then your self-esteem is not rooted on anything healthy. Because soon as you lose that job, or soon as you, let's say you get a divorce, God forbid, you get a divorce, or you and your person are having marital problems, then what? Your self esteem is going to feel like shit all over again because you based it on something that is not self esteemed. It's not stemmed and rooted in self. I didn't even, when I made these cards, I just looked at this as like a plant that's dying because it's not being nurtured. Never once did I pay attention to the word esteem being esteem or stem like a flower. I never thought about that. But like, what's rooted, like, it has to be deeply rooted in self. And what I mean by that is, you know yourself, you love yourself, you trust yourself, you honor yourself, you respect yourself, you appreciate yourself. Your identity is not based off of what everybody else around you thinks about you. And as a human, naturally, yeah, you want to please your family, or you want to make people proud around you. You want to be validated in a healthy way. But sometimes, like, if we don't have that esteem within ourselves, where we know ourselves, where we validate our own existence, we'll look to everything else and everybody else to be that for us. So the self-esteem card: water and nurture yourself. Give yourself that nurturing and that watering that you deserve, beyond someone else. And it's beautiful to have people, you want to have people in your life that water you and nurture you as well. But you are responsible, you are your own flower pot, so therefore you have to take care of yourself. Can't look to everyone else to water your garden, especially if it's things that, such as better health. Like, no one else is going to tell you to get up and work out or eat healthy. If it's, you know um going after your dreams or your goals, no one else is going to make you responsible for that. They might hold you accountable, they might coach you. Speaking of coaching, before I forget this, I did tag it in the chat, but I am available for coaching, you guys. If you are at a place where you want to, you need some encouragement when it comes to your healing, or certain specific things that you need healing with, or you just need an accountability partner, I got you. So I have different coaching sessions available. I have made them more affordable. So I'm willing to work with whoever is needing, that healing, or to start their healing journey, or just heal certain areas that might be touchy, especially for women. If you feel, right now you're healing from love and relationships, I specialize in that, like in self-esteem and self-love, and your single season and how to make uses of that and your purpose. I got you. Okay. You guys can click the link if you're interested. But going back to this, like your wellness and your health is dependent upon you, and the journey of self never ends. As long as you're a living, breathing human vessel, your journey with yourself is never ending. So there's going to be times where you're happy. There's going to be times where you're challenged by certain things, where you might go through grief. There's periods where you're going to have seasons of blessings and opportunities, and there's going to be seasons where things feel stagnant. Life is a series of seasons, right? But can you sustain who you are through every season, where you don't forget who you are? You don't forget. This dog. You should have been in here. I'm not getting up right now. Sorry, Foxy. I'm sorry. You're going to have to wait. Okay. Yeah, but I'm going to pull from this deck just to see what else Divine Spirit wants us to know. Be open to change. Tupac. It's time to make a change for some of you, and you desire it, you want it, you can. And prosperity doesn't have to be like a material thing. Prosperity just means to prosper, to be pushed forward. So I do feel like when you do this, you are going to see breakthroughs, you are going to see blessings and movement. But again, you have to tackle your own mind. But for some of you, you're already open to change. I just haven't, set boundaries. I just haven't felt led to post about or do readings on love. It never, it's not coming out lately. Like it might come out like a little bit, but to like how it used to be where we would, you know, get a lot of messages on love. I feel like for those of you, you're at a point where now. You're not oblivious. You're not at a place of not knowing. You know now that in order to have a healthy relationship, you have to have a healthy relationship with yourself. And that's where it begins. It begins with you. And, working on that relationship with yourself, or continuing to work on that relationship with yourself, bettering yourself internally, because it's not enough to just say, oh, I'm going to put on some makeup, do something to my hair, do something to my nails, or get my hair cut, or get my car washed, get a Rolex. That's not going to attract the right partner if that's your only focus. You're going to continue to attract empty vessels, or people that are superficial, or just lusting after your physical beauty or your attractiveness, rather than attracting somebody that is also attracted to you, your soul, your inner being, your heart, your character. So we're at a place right now where we don't really need to be talking about, oh, where this dude is at with me and all that. I don't feel led at this point in, like, me as a messenger. If you come to me personally for a reading, that's for you. But collectively, I don't feel led to speak on those types of things, because I feel like at this point, whoever's been watching my channel, whoever stumbles upon it, you're at a place in your journey where it's about you. And as you enrich yourself, that is going to attract a healthier connection, and not just romantically, but people around you. The more you're able to discern, like this is the thing, when you take care of yourself and your well being, you'll be so turned off by anything that treats you like shit. You don't even want it. You're not attracted to it. You're not interested in being friends with it, them, they, whatever. Um, people that treat you rude or unkind, or you see how they treat other people unkind and rude, you're not even going to be attracted to that. Maybe in the past you might have glossed over it because you had low self-esteem. Your esteem was based off of, oh, I got to make sure he's happy, or I got to make sure she happy. I make sure they still like me. I got to make sure that they still find me attractive. So you base your worth and your value off of other people. Or I got to stay in the clique with the friend group, so I can't speak up about this. If they say that they're going to do this even though I don't agree with it, I'm going to still roll with them. I'm going to still go with them because I don't want to be left out. Now it's like I don't want to align with people that make me feel like I'm not enough, or these are people that don't vibe with me, or they're into things I'm not into just for the sake of saying I'm a part of a clique or I have friends or whatever. You're not compromising yourself anymore. When you start to do that, you're going to attract different, or you're going to be more so, you're going to be attracted to different types of people, different spaces, different environments. And that's when you start to realize, okay, I may be ready for something. Or you fall into a connection, or you align rather into a connection with people that resonate with where you're at. And the other people, that they'll still be attracted to you because darkness is attracted to light, okay? Unhealthy things um are still attracted, clean or unclean things are still attracted to clean. Have you ever worn a white shirt and as soon as you step out, it just seems like just something just falls on your shirt? I hate wearing white t-shirts because of that. But it's a thing, right? So you're still going to have people that are going to be attracted to you, that may want to use you, that may want to, they might be opportunists. They may be, lovers that are cheaters. They may be, looking for sex or looking to take from you, whatever. You're going to still attract those people. They're going to be attracted to you, I should say, rather. They're still going to be attracted to you. But your desire for it is not going to be there. Your tolerance for it is not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always stress this. You can't skip this step. I don't care what video you listen to, what tarot reading you click on, and you want to know about this person, that person. Your future spouse is not going to be attracted to somebody that is still attracted to fuck boys. If you're asking, you genuinely want someone that's healthy and that loves you, you're not going to attract a healthy, loving partner when you're still attracted to fuck boys or fuck girls, or you yourself or a fuck boy or fuck girl. It's not going to happen. Because a healthy, whole, healed woman or man is going to be turned off by that behavior because they have a self-esteem to where they nurture themselves, they love themselves, they know who they are, they know what they want, they know what they deserve. They're not settling for anything less than that. They're not tolerating it. None of us are perfect. That's one thing. No one is worth you trying to prove yourself so much so to them like they're God, putting them on a pedestal. There's a difference between, loving people, respecting them as they are, and, admiring a person. But once you start putting someone in the place of an idol, you've taken that focus off of yourself and your divine creator. You place another human being that is flawed just as you are, or has the ability to be flawed or to do things, make mistakes as you are, into that place of godlyship, like they're just up here. Um, that's not a healthy place to be, because then that person has power over you. When it's a healthy relationship, there's trust, there's safety, there's security, that it's a safe space. So you can trust this person. It's not this fear of messing up and feeling like, okay, I'm gonna let this person control or dictate my life, tell me what I should wear, where I should go, how I should think. Oh, you did this wrong, you need to change this about yourself. Like, that's a headache. Like, we don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. So set healthy boundaries for yourself. Set healthy boundaries for you. It's okay. Like, some people might be like, oh, you stuck up, you bougie. Okay, I'll be that. If that means I'm at peace and I'm healthy and I'm not lowering myself, I'll be that. And again, those word curses again, because you set boundaries. Yeah. For some of you, telling you, you got addict, let go of bad habits. Yep, collective. You have people that are addicted to doing things out of repetition. They're not willing to change. They're not willing to grow. These are people that expect you to put up with their drama. They expect you to participate in bad habits, bad behaviors, bad patterns. And soon as you shift out of that, they're gonna call you bougie. They're gonna call you stuck up. You too good for this, or you're too good for the hood. Like you're right, I am. You can love people from afar. You can love some of you. This is your family. For some of you, this is a partner or somebody that it could be an ex. For some of you, I'm getting like, I don't know why I feel like some of you guys are divorcees. Not everybody, obviously, but this could be for like one person or two people where you are divorced. For some of you, this is your child's father or your child's mother, but I'm getting majority child's father for some of you, where this person is kind of like expecting you to be that same woman. I'm hearing like hold them down, be there through their BS. And you might have outgrown that. You're not into that. This is ghetto. This is giving ghetto. Like, I'm not in that space no more. I'm not into that. I'm not hiding your drugs and all that. I'm not pushing some of you guys, I don't know who this is for, but some of you might have had that type of, dynamic with a partner where they expect you to participate in their illegal activities, hold them down. If they, lost a job, you were the one paying all the, like, no, F all that, scratch all of that. Somebody might try to check your temperature to see how available you still are to them. And spirit is like, nah, like set your boundaries for yourself. And they might try to throw that word, oh, you being bougie, oh, you acting different. Like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm not that person. I don't know who, like, you're not talking to that same person. And you guys could have been young, or it could have just been a false loyalty thing because you were married or because you had a kid together or children together. Be with someone who's open to change, willingly open to make change, not because you're forcing them or controlling them or babysitting them into it, because they actively want to make a change and they're making a change, rather than someone that doesn't know how to let go of bad habits, bad patterns, negative patterns. And it could be for some of you, soon as you get into a connection with someone, or you might already be talking to someone that is different, this X energy or whoever this person is might come back around. Inner child. Yeah. Your inner child desires to be present and to, you know, take some time out. Yeah. Clean up. You might cry a little bit at this time. Tidy up grief. You might cry, but you're clearing a lot of trauma though. Your inner child self, it's like that protection that you didn't get as a child, or you didn't feel seen or heard. Because some of us as children, I'll speak for myself, there's times where I didn't feel heard or felt safe, with caregivers. When I mean feeling safe is that it wasn't safe for me to be vulnerable. It wasn't safe for me to be a child and cry, or to say, no, I didn't do that, and still being blamed for it. Like, I didn't feel safe around certain caregivers as a child. So as an adult, you have to give yourself that safety and security to, whenever that part of you that feels like it's not being heard or being listened to, it's like, I'm going to give an ear to myself. Instead of internalizing it and pushing it down, saying nobody cares, or this is not a big deal, stop crying, or you're getting frustrated, stop. Instead of doing that to yourself, you welcome it to give yourself a listening ear. So I feel for some of you as well, like your children, you are correcting or changing the dynamic, shifting the energy generationally when you do the opposite of what maybe your caregivers did to you, by giving them a voice and allowing them to speak, allowing them to cry, allowing them to tell you what they're afraid of, rather than bullying them into, oh, you need to stop. You need to grow up, or you need a backbone, or you need to do this. Stop being a sissy. Whatever you hear, because these are common things that we hear. And I just get like, the more you nurture your inner child and or your children as well, you're balancing that energy out. Okay, so the tidying up will come in the form of crying, and the feeling of grief is usually a form of when something has died or when something has ended in your life or a relationship has ended, a breakup or death. Grief comes around those periods, right? So you, when you're experiencing this grief and there's nothing, there's no breakups, there's no death around you or nothing like that, there's a part of the self that you're detaching from. So naturally your body is going to respond with grief. So give yourself that time to process the grief and release and heal. You're human. Some of you guys, it could be moving, like you're moving, you're traveling, or you're like, yeah, you have to travel to a new state or a new country for some of you. And it might be that sadness because that what you've known, what you've been used to, what you've been accustomed to is no more. Okay. This is an extremely long reading, but sometimes I don't even feel like I want to read the tarot. Like sometimes oracle cards are just enough because it's like intuitively free for me more so than the tarot. I've just been kind of like not really touching my cards lately. I don't know. Let's see. All right. The Fool. Yeah. New energies, new beginnings, fresh starts, the Queen of Swords. You have wisdom. Whether you're a man or a woman doesn't matter. You have this wisdom where you're still, because the Queen of Swords is a balance between feminine and masculine energy because the swords are masculine principles. But the feminine aspect of this is that still that receptivity, still that place of discernment, intuition, the subconscious, the emotional realm. Whereas the sword also represents logic and rationality as well, truth, honoring, and also protection. So you notice how the Queen of Swords, her hand is out open. She's still receptive, but her sword is up. She's still, still using logic and practicality. There's a level of protection. So you're not to be all receptive and open without using discernment and not so rational, so practical and analytical to the point where you're not tapped into your intuitive self as well. So there's a balance here with the Queen of Swords. The Nine of Swords, some of you guys, whatever is ailing you or whatever is not leaving your subconscious or your mind, it's something maybe that you need to address within yourself and release. Make peace with it. And I feel like this is the final step because nines are always that message of mastery and overcoming and releasing and ending. So it's something that you might need to lay to rest. And it looks like she's in a graveyard. So it's like something that maybe you buried and stuck away. You might have grieved over it for a time and you didn't really address it. So you just kind of like put dirt on it and just walked away. Now it's kind of like a zombie in a graveyard haunting you so that you could face it and release it. And I feel like this new energy or a new moon, I don't know if it's a new moon or full moon energy, kind of get new moon energy. There's something around this that's going to maybe resurrect some things that you put kind of you didn't really deal with within yourself in your conscious mind or mentally deal with that I feel like you're going to finalize and deal with the Seven of Pentacles, then it's going to lead to this place, or this is a part of you watering your garden, nurturing yourself. And some of you guys are going to see the fruits of your labor. Like it's nothing is more rewarding when you really like love yourself and when you start choosing yourself, not in a selfish sense, but from a place where you're not just throwing yourself on the back burner. There's nothing healthy about that. Yes, there's times where you're called to like put your needs aside where you might be being selfish versus where you're compromising yourself for the sake of making other people happy in a way where they don't care about your well-being or your health, or there's a thing of overextending and giving. Yeah. Yeah, some things you might, jobs, whatever, when you try to cling on to things and it's not shifting, it's not moving, that's where you surrender. Because sometimes, I mean, it could happen. It just depends on what's of your highest good. Like when you let go of trying to hold on to certain things or try to make certain things happen, it's like you have to surrender because you might be too invested in a situation where you're not allowing things to happen and flow, or there could be certain things that you need to focus on, but you're fixating on something that's like right now is not meant, or it's not time, or you're holding on to something that you completely need to let go of and surrender to so that something else better can take its place. But as long as you're holding on, it's painful, because just imagine like you have something in your hand and you're squeezing for dear life. Eventually you're going to hurt yourself doing that. It's a painful thing to quench and cling on to things rather than letting things be free, whether it comes back to you or something that is meant to be removed so that something else can take its place, something better can take its place. Yeah. It's really a faith thing. You have to have enough faith to know that if it's not this thing, then it's something way better that wants to come in. Or it could be something that gets, revitalized. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of you guys are like walking into a space or season where you are just having faith in the transition. You're having faith in the changes that you're making. It's always scary to walk into the unknown, but it's so brave of you to decide to take steps to make change or to initiate change, not knowing where it's going to lead you, especially letting go of things or people. Like, that's not easy, especially when you're not ready, or you think you're not ready, or you don't want to. Hey, Zaria. But you know within your spirit, like you know within yourself you have to, but it doesn't mean that you want to always, right? But it's brave when you do. It shows your level of trust in yourself, but most importantly in your divine creator, your divine team. See. What else? And then I'm going to move on to the sound healing. That will conclude the message, because I didn't expect to be on here for a whole hour. What time is it? Because I got to get dressed in a little bit. Let me see. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. Let's see. So excited to get dressed. No, I'm being sarcastic. Okay. So you have spiritual practice. It says structure and routine. So just like, make a habit of, whether it's your prayer in the morning and at night or throughout the day, whether it's journaling, meditation. There's something about this certain journey, like to be disciplined with your journey right now, is look at it as a sacred practice of yours. And some of the things that might keep you disciplined and accountable is having a spiritual practice. So like for me, every morning I know that I got to get up and pray, sit with myself, sit with God. I like to read my devotional. If I'm called to read certain things, I do that, or just sit, or just like, talk to God. That type of thing, spiritual practice, or a spiritual thing that you do at night. Gratitude. I also say, I thank God. I state my gratitude before I go to bed, at least every time that I can remember to. But that is my spiritual practice, right? Or one of them, just one of them. One of those things where it's like, I know, like, okay, mornings you do this, night you do this. So it's like a structure to it. But so maybe something like that. And then as far as like the changes you're making, you're holding yourself accountable through your spiritual practice. Top of the deck is gentleness. Respond softly. Yeah, respond softly to yourself. Remember, I was saying, like, allow your inner self, like, when you feel that you need to cry or you're frustrated, like, give yourself an ear. Don't stuff it away or just throw it away. And be like, you need to stop. You need to be quiet, because that's the responses that you're used to, or that maybe you heard as a child, or maybe if not all of your caregivers, then maybe at least one, where you started to teach yourself that, okay, I need to stop. I'm doing too much. I'm being dramatic. Be gentle with you and your children if you have them. I know, like, sometimes, like, when you're in a shitty mood, you can take it out on other people. Be gentle to them as well. Shift the energy. And at the bottom of the deck, you have Night's Vigil with prepare and get ready. Prepare and get ready. Prepare and get ready for what I can't say. I kind of get a vibe of this because he's a knight and I can see his armor in the back. That be prepared that when you make these changes, you're going to have pushback and you have to protect. You have to cover yourself. You have to stand firm within yourself, in your faith, in your trust in yourself and divine source God. And I just felt led to look at this bottom card, and it's the heart. It's overflowing. It's purifying itself. It's being cleansed out. It's a well of purification. The heart. It says, what would love do? Come from a place of love toward yourself and towards others. Come from a place of love. And we could, and I just have to say this. Sometimes when we think about loving people unconditionally means that, oh, I know this person is a drug addict, but I'm going to keep giving them money because I love them. That's not love. Love is, I know this person is a drug addict. I care about this person. I want to see them do better. I'm going to suggest that they sign up for counseling, or I'm going to pay for their whatever, their what do you call it? Their when they have to go through, what is it called? My goodness. Basically where they go to the health centers and they help them to detox and break free of the drugs. Like, I'll pay for that. That's more so loving, more so than enabling or just saying, because you're my mother, I'm going to continue to allow you to, like, talk crazy to me, or because you're my man or you're my woman, I'm going to continue to cheat on me and stay in a relationship and change my hair thinking that's going to make you stop cheating. No, no, you're still feeding into the lust of that person. So you changing your hair, getting your booty tight and getting it right, whatever, getting your muscles right, getting your stomach, your abs together, that's just going to promote more of the lust in that person. It has to be more of an internal job and work within. That's more loving than not. All right, let's get to the sound healing. My favorite part. Okay. I have two, come on now, lanterns. I'm going to use two different instruments. I have a new baby. It was supposed to go with me to California, but it didn't come in time, so I didn't get to use it in Cali. But I have a new baby. I have a bigger pyramid, but I got a baby pyramid. So this is like a crystal. It's a quartz crystal pyramid. One of my babies. So tiny. I didn't think it was gonna be this small, but it is small. I think it's like a 4 inch, 4 inch, 6 inch. I can't remember. So I'm gonna use this first, and then I'm gonna use the sound bowl. So let's get to it. And before I do, disclaimer: some people, the pitch might be triggering to the ears. Some people like it. Um, Everyone has different effects to the sound healing, whether during, yes, isn't it pretty? Either during the session, like, you could have different effects. Everyone's different. Or after. Sometimes after, you might be rejuvenated. For some of you, you might feel revitalized, energized. Some of you guys might cry. Some of you guys might get nauseous, dizzy. It just depends on you. Um, Drink water. And one thing to remember too, like, if you need to breathe throughout the process, like, breathe through it. You might feel different sensations in your body. Certain thoughts, feelings, emotions might come up. You might feel a better sense of clarity. Um, you might feel sleepy, like feel rested. You want to, like, take a nap and just, like, sound healing. When I listened to it before, it's like the best sleep ever. But it's nothing like feeling it in person. But like when you hear it, it just puts you at ease. But you can set intentions. I'm using the heart chakra bowl. This one is just for the sound and the frequencies of it. So you might feel it in different parts of your body. You can set intentions of healing, of balance, restoration, release, whatever your intentions are. You can say affirmations before and after. You can touch certain parts of your body, like place your hands on certain parts of your body. You can use color visualization, like visualize the color of the chakra that you're healing or sending that energy to those points in your body. Um, so yeah, before I start, we're gonna breathe together. once the session is over, you guys, allow yourself to like rest, like sit. I mean, like don't jolt yourself up. If you're sitting on a couch, if you're laying down, do not force yourself up fast. Like allow yourself to easily like rise up. If your eyes are closed, which I prefer, like your eyes being closed, don't force your eyes open, like slowly open them. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it. So we're gonna do like the breathing exercise before we get started, and you can do this as many times as you want until you feel like you're in a relaxed state. Do not be driving while you're listening to this. Please do not ride your bike, jog, walk, work out while you're listening. You want to be in a place where you're relaxed, where you have time to lay down and rest. Okay, so let's tap in. So before I start, I'm gonna breathe in and then hold it and exhale. And I'm going to do this about 3 times. So breathe in deeply. Okay. You could do that as many times as you want. That one has a really light sound in comparison to my big pyramid. It's like, softer sound, which is okay. So here is my baby. This is an F note, which is for the heart chakra. This is my baby. All right. I'm going to use a different mallet because this one, sometimes I like these mallets, but I prefer the rubber one. All right, let's breathe in. let me know how you guys felt during the session, because sometimes you don't really feel the energy's effects until after, but the frequencies usually, like physically in your body, you'll feel it. But the healing aspect of it, you might sense it later, or when you get up, you start to feel energized. I know personally for me, like when I do this, I do feel a sense of peace. It is more, I feel more of a flowing energy physically. Um, but yeah, if you do this consistently, one thing that I've noticed is that you will start to notice how each chakra, based off of which bowl you use, um, the chakra that it's intended for at least, you will notice the healing effects of those specific chakras. So yeah, you will feel it. Yeah, it's definitely very calming, and so, like, the bowls that I use most often are my crown chakra one and my solar plexus and heart chakra, because that's what came in my first set. I have all seven chakras, but they're in boxes. So, like, when I go places where I need them and use them, I have to, like, pack them up and stuff. But, like, the three that I usually take with me are the heart chakra, the solar, and the crown chakra. So, I do notice effects in those areas for me because I use them consistently on myself. And then when I do my sound healing sessions, like little mini sessions, I'll use those bowls. Sometimes I'll switch them up. But yeah, it's really a blessing. Like, I don't think people understand sound healing because I had to study it. In order to get the certification, obviously you have to study the history of sound and the effects of the sound. Because musicians, they use it too. So musicians will use certain frequencies, hertz. So the lower the hertz, or the lower the frequency of the music and the sound on your body. So it can invoke lust, it can invoke anger, it can invoke fear, like certain music you listen to, rage, ego, those types of things. If you're listening to high frequency music, let's say for instance Janae Aiko, she uses certain frequencies in her music. She said it herself. So that's why when you listen to certain songs from her, you feel at peace. You feel maybe even a little bit of healing energy from it, or you might fall asleep to it. You know what I mean? So that's why um the healing itself. And also too, certain medical practitioners use or even created their own instruments for healing their patients and things like that. It's really, really dope. Like, when you really dive into it, it's not just some crystal bowls. It's not just, just for the sound of it being pretty. It really does help you. It does improve your health. It's not the end all be all, but it definitely helps and improves. So, not just for your stress levels and for meditation, but also just your physical body as well. So that's why I love it. And I know that it works because I used it for years. So yeah. And I've seen it work on people physically with my own two eyes. And the woman that taught the course that I took for sound healing, she was like sick, like really bad. Like, she had a rare disease that was really, really bad. And she got into sound healing, and it was an instrument that she used. And she would use it often, and her energy started to improve, her physical well-being started to improve, and she's, teaching, she's moving, she's active. So at one point she was just bedstricken. She couldn't do anything. So yeah, there's definitely power in it. It helps people with their surgery process, the healing process of that. It helps people through childbirth. And there's so many different sound healing instruments. That's why I have so many. I don't just have crystal stuff. I have chimes. I have all kind of different stuff that I use, and I'll incorporate those, the smaller ones at least. The chimes, I love the chimes. They just have this enchanting sound to it. And then the metal bowl, let me see. The metal bowl I don't use often, but that was my first bowl that I ever got, was the metal one. Um, Only because I didn't really think that I could afford them. So when I did have the means to get me a crystal bowl, I took it. You know what I mean? Because I've always wanted one. I have sage and stuff in it that I do not use. Palo Santo. I have all kind of stuff in here. What is this? Little Barbie $100 bill. Where did that come from? I made it into like a bowl to keep my sage and stuff in. The path to bliss passes through this teapot, and I kept it because I'm like, that's cute. Um, got crystals in here and shit. I don't think it's gonna sing for me because I have stuff in it, and I have fortune cookies. Let me see if it'll sing for me. Probably not. And I don't have the right mallet for it on hand, but I'm gonna try it anyway. I don't have the right mallet for it. It's singing. So I have two metal bowls. So the thing with these, like, they work as well for healing and meditation, but the crystal pyramid, like crystals, those are more powerful because our body and the crystals, like a clear quartz, has similar materials in our body as the crystals do. So that's why people resonate with them more, and the effects of those types of bowls are more, more healing than the metal, because our body does not is not made up of metal. So we can hear the pitch and it could do something to us, but like there's more power in the crystal ones because it's a similar material to your genetic makeup. And when I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Why? Because I resonate more so with the crystal bowls than I do these. So, um, yeah, that's just a little sound healing one-on-one. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really do. And I send love to you guys. May God bless you, continue to bless you and shine God's face upon you. And I will catch you guys in the next heart therapy reading and session. So much love. And yeah, if you guys want a personal read, I'm available. Coaching sessions, if you're available for that. You guys enjoy my rants and you resonate with them. My coaching sessions are pretty affordable. So check that out. The link is in the description and it's also linked in the chat. So I will catch you guys on the next message reading video, whatever. You're welcome. Peace.